Hey, good evening. This is Kevin Bees, and I was just wanted to do a video for today on something I call the progress points principle. The progress points principle. Why do you want to know about this this awesome principle? Well, it's because it's going to be something that's going to help you feel a lot better within yourself. It's going to help you take a lot more action and get a lot more positive results in your business. Now, what is this progress points principle? The best way I can share it with you is maybe a little bit of a story. This last week, I had some friends over from Madrid. Alex and Lisa were here. And Alex and I went out for a walk I took my daughter Luella, she's 2 years old. Now, I went to play in the park whilst Alex went off to the shopping centre. He had some things to buy from the supermarket. Now, he was going to be about 20 minutes, we thought, so I went to meet him, and it turned out he was more like 30, 35, a busy supermarket. And I don't know if you're anything like me. I can't stand going into a busy supermarket, having to look around for things. You can't find them. You don't know where they are. And for me, I can get really frustrated. Like, I just want to get in, get it done, and get out. I'm not a big shopper. Now, Alex, on the other hand, he'd been in there for probably double the amount of time that he was expecting to be. And yet, when I find him, he's still pretty happy. He's still looking around. He can't find this one thing. Right, it was something a little bit obscure, like I know, some banana flour or something of this nature. He couldn't find it. Now, if that was me and I'd been looking for 20, 30 minutes for it, I'd probably be pretty frustrated. But he wasn't. He was pretty happy. And I looked in his basket. He had all of these things. He said, I found this thing that's got me some points, and this thing that's got me some points, and this thing and that's got me some points. And I'm like, what does he mean? And when I asked him about it, what he meant is anytime he found something that was on his list, he gave himself some points for it, right? There's some progress points. Like, I made progress. I got this thing, and this extra thing here, it was difficult to get. I got extra points for that. So he was counting points the whole way around because he was making progress. These are the progress points I was telling you about. So he was feeling very happy into his shopping trip, okay? Whereas, on the other hand, myself and maybe other people would feel a little bit frustrated that we couldn't find this one thing. This one thing is eluding us. This freaking banana flour, we can't find it. And so his shopping experience, or maybe his life experience, is going to be that of much more happier, much more success, much more fulfillment, because he's counting his progress on the way. All of the small things, each item he's putting into the basket is a win for him. Now, there's a psychological principle around this which can be demonstrated again and again. And if you read anything in the field around this, meta programs, there are people who count the progress, they count things that are going into the basket, or there are people who discount. And they have great success, but they don't recognize it, or they don't stop to realize it, or they don't stop to count it. They discount it. They make it less important than it actually was. Now, this has a major psychological impact, because if we're counting all of the things that we're doing well, we feel better about ourselves. It has a positive multiplier effect. We feel good, we take more action, and it continues upwards. We get a better belief in ourselves, more confidence. On the other hand, if we're someone who discounts, well, the opposite happens. We go downwards in a spiral. We feel less good about ourselves. We have less confidence. There's less potential in ourselves. We have less belief in ourselves. We take less action, and it can spiral up into a heap where we don't progress. So there's a real solid psychological principle like this. Now, if you don't believe me, I'd love for you, or you'd like to know more about this, then there's a really great podcast episode I've done with Dr. Priya. Now, Dr. Priya taught at Harvard Business School in psychology. And when I asked her what's the one thing, the most important thing that we should be to be thinking about or using, she mentions this very principle. She talks about it in terms of celebration. So I'm going to post that in the link on this live. I highly encourage you to listen to it. Dr. Priya she's teaching at the top business school these principles. So I think you should have a listen to that. I think you find it super valuable. But the key thing from today then, let me give you maybe 3 or 4 examples of how my clients have used this principle over the years to help them get better results. One of the ways may even be like when they got a sale, they would hit a gong or high five their team member. That's a great way to count your win. What other ways? Let me have a think. There is plenty more. I think even stopping at the end of the day and writing down, what are the 5 wins from today? What are the 5 wins? Even if you have an absolutely terrible day and things have gone badly, there's always 5 wins you can find about it. Right, this is certainly something that you can do. And what other examples did I have written down to share with you? Hey, here's another good one that I've had my clients do, and that's a done list. we can be so busy looking at a to-do list, and the to-do list, it always, no matter how much you complete, it always seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But what if you had a done list? What if you actually noted during the day what you actually accomplished, what you'd actually achieved? What a difference does that make when you get to the end of the day and you look at that and you think, wow, these are all the things that I've actually done. So many ways you can do this, but my hope for you is that you can find a way to start counting the wins, counting the progress. Give yourself some progress points. When you get some things that go in the basket and you have a success, there's some points. Don't agonize about the one thing that you haven't found or you haven't done yet, and beat yourself up about that. Focus on the things and the wins and use that as a basis to build. Okay, that's everything I have to share with you today. It's been great. Thank you for listening. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I'll be back tomorrow.